And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 5 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tasha, Hannah, Rena, and the twins Ellie and Emmy. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy all together. One day, the king of Tripleville's messenger said, Hear ye, the king of Tripleville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Stripling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are... Tasha said, He's going to marry me. Hannah said, No way, Tasha. He's going to marry me. Rena said, Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Ellie said, All 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Emmy said, Are you kidding, sister? He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad because she cannot go to the ball. Suddenly, Cinderella's fairy godmother asks what's wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Stripling. The fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. She waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word. Triply, trappily, triply, true. And then Cinderella's chores are all done, but the fairy godmother said she's not done. He then said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has 3 pumpkins. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, Triply, trappily, troppily, true. And then the 3 pumpkins turned into a handsome coach drawn by 6 strong horses. And then Cinderella's do-rag and red dress turned into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a triple-tastic crown and gown. And get a load of my glass slippers. The fairy godmother said, Have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Stripling was wondering who he should marry. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy say all together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. But he's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Stripling dance together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she's running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Stripling was so worried. He afraid that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Tripleville to find her and brought the tiny glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where Cinderella and her ugly, mean stepsisters lived. Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you try on this glass slipper? Tasha first. Hannah second. Rena third, and the twins last, but none of their feet fit. Suddenly, Prince Stripling noticed Cinderella singing. She exclaimed, Prince Stripling, is that you? Prince Stripling said, Of course it's me. Frila gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Tripling back. And he doesn't need to put on the glass slipper back on Frila's foot because it's so uncomfortable. And they both live happily ever after. The end. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 55-erella. It is based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there lived a young woman named 55-erella. 55-erella had 10 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Fatina, Ivana, Fernanda, Tasha, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. Fatima, Ivana, Fernanda, Tasha, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. May 55-erella do all the chores. 55-er wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! Said Fatima, Ivana, Fernanda, Tasha, Yvonne, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella all together. One day, the king of 55-ham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, hear ye! The king of 55-ham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quadrigentupling. But 55-erella is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Fatima, the oldest stepsister. Ivana said, No way, Fatima. He's going to marry me. The rest said, No, he's going to marry me. Later, 55-erella is so sad, distraught, and upset doing chores about not going to the ball and marry Prince Quadrigentupling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts 55-erella by saying, There now, my dear sweet 55-erella. I can help with a bit of magic, and waves her magic wand. And because of that, 55-erella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 55-erella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, 55-erella has 55 pumpkins and 110 mice. 55-erella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 55 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 110 mice into horses, and 55-erella's fairy ripped clothes into a gown and crown. 55-erella says, I've never seen such a quinquagentuple-tastic gown. Get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? 55-erella's fairy godmother says, Well, you can't. But have fun, 55-erella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. Back to normal. And gives her a clock to tell her what time it is. 55-erella accepted the warning and climbed into the coach. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of 55-ham says, Good evening, everyone. My son, Prince Quadrigentupling, was wondering who he owed to marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Quadrigentupling responds, Yes, father. Suddenly, 55-erella arrives just in time for the ball. Fatima, Ivana, Fernanda, Tasha, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella say, He's walking towards me! All together, but he's not walking towards any of them. Prince Quadrigentupling is walking towards 55-erella. May I have this dance? Asks Prince Quadra in which 55 responds, I would be delighted. Prince Quadra and 55 dance happily together. But later, as 55 checks her clock, it's almost midnight, and so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Quadra is really sad and worried that he might never see 55 again. The king of 55 comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find her. And so, the king of 55 and Prince Quadra began their journey all around 55 to find 55 and brought the glass slipper with them. By the time they arrive, they knock. Prince knocks on the door of the house where 55 and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters live. But instead of 55 they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. Prince then says, Ladies, my father and I have a favor to ask. Can you try on this glass slipper? Fatima is first, but her foot is too big. Ivana is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits, she said. The rest are the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince toppling and the king of 55 noticed 55 singing. Prince toppling, is that you? She hollered excitedly. Prince toppling says, Of course it's me. My father and I found you. I love you. Will you marry me? And the glass slipper fits. And so, 55 the king of 55 and Prince Quadra lived happily ever after. The end. And I bet it was a fun story, right, Andrew Stewart? I've been debating on making some sequels. So, if you want to see maybe someday 55 2, 55 wishes come true, tell your friends about it, okay? And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise at AndrewDoesEverything.com. And have you found your prince or princess? Just let me know. And maybe my Cinderella parodies will come true and become real. Take care, Andrew Stewart. Bye.